This is incredible, and thanks to Facebook, a mother found her kidnapped kids after living 15 years away from them. This is a tough one. Here's the backstory. The mother from California last saw her children back in 1995. Little girl's 3, little boy's just 2. Police say dad took off with them, told her you're never going to see him again. Now, fast forward 15 years. She typed their kids' names in Facebook, finds her daughter hundreds of miles away, a couple of thousand miles away in Florida. Mom calls police. They arrest dad. He's now behind bars facing kidnapping charges, and mom is getting back with her kids. But they're also being uprooted from the only life they've never known. Tough one. Happy for mom. The kids are probably confused. We'll take your calls on it. 1-877-TEL-HLN. Join me to talk about this. Welcome back, Wendy Walsh, clinical psychologist. You can always check out more of her thoughts, momlogic.com. Also with us, investigative reporter Rosie Franco. Rosie, let me start with you. So, mom hooks up with daughter on Facebook. How does that exchange go? Do we know?
Well, yeah, I'll tell you, this story is just truly amazing. As far as their correspondence on Facebook, whenever Prince Coralie Sagala, which is the name of the mother, actually found Jacqueline Utrera, they corresponded for a couple of days, and then the daughter became a little apprehensive and decided to actually delete her Facebook and told her mom she wanted nothing to do with her. So it's interesting for the mother because she's very excited. As I spoke to the district attorney out in San Bernardino, he says that the mother is excited and anxious, but unfortunately, she's got a long road ahead of her with these kids.
Okay, let me bring in Wendy on that front. What do you make of the daughter's reaction here, Wendy? I mean, okay, so she's corresponding with this lady, says it's mom, and then she backs off, deletes the Facebook page, doesn't want anything. A lot of confusion here, I'd imagine. That's the starting point, right?
It's really understandable, Mike. I mean, imagine, the time of great attachment injuries tend to be in toddlerhood. It's a very vulnerable time anyway. So she has mom ripped from her arms. We don't know what went on in the first 3 years of her life anyway, whether there was any abuse from either parent or anything that happened. But we do know that there's probably a child who had a sense of longing for a long time and may have heard lots of confusing stories from the father. They may be lies. We don't know. And then all of a sudden, there's this woman. I mean, couldn't you imagine saying, well, where have you been all my life? And now she's potentially a hormone-driven, angry teenager? I mean, a really, really tenuous time for both of them.
Yeah, tough all the way around. Rosie, so they correspond for a couple of days. How did police find them? Did they have enough info from the correspondence to go on?
Right. What happened, that's exactly what happened. They actually in San Bernardino got an arrest warrant for here in Florida, and they worked with the Osceola County Sheriff's Office, and then once they tracked him down, they found him while he was trying to pick up his son at a bus stop, and then they picked him up instead.
Okay, and Rosie, these two kids have a brand new family, right? I mean, that's the only family they know, and it's dad and another woman, and they even have a brother. The dad and the other woman had a son together, right?
Right, and here's the thing. I mean, as I talked to the district attorney, and you know, this is a wonderful situation where mom finds the kids. I mean, it's just going to be really tough for them. I really don't see everything just kind of working out and all flowery and so forth. And that's sort of what I talked about with the district attorney. He says she's got a long road ahead of her. I mean, it doesn't mean they can't have a relationship, but they most certainly won't have the relationship that the mother probably hopes for.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the emotions, and I've mentioned it. The mom is so excited, the kids confused, and plus other things. Wendy, how do you start? What do you do to begin to have a relationship now with your biological kids who were ripped away from you?
Well, it's got to go slow and gentle, and keep in mind they're also probably angry because the only parental figure they know is now behind bars, and they're blaming mom for that. So the family has got to deal with their issues bit by bit, slow and gently, some family therapy. I don't know, has she been given custody of them? Do they actually live with her in California now? I mean, pulling teens out of their peer group is traumatic. So even if she could come to Florida and integrate herself more into their neighborhood and their world and try to forge a relationship that way, it might be easier. Of course, if her income is...
Let me ask Rosie. Rosie, where are the kids? I mean, because mom has all the legal rights here, I'd imagine.
Right, and on to what Wendy Walsh says, the kids are actually in state custody right now, but we do know that Prince Sagala has an attorney. I've tried to contact her several times to find out exactly where they are in the process, but it looks like she's going to try and get custody.
as well she should, and we knew she would, but Wendy put it best, slow and go as they try and begin a new life together, and she does with her kids. Guys, thanks so much.